It's week 16. We talking about some tight ends here. We're going into the last game here before we get to our championship. We got to make sure we make the best lineup decisions possible to get the best tight end in there. We know it's a bunch of cockadoodle, but we're going to get right back into this video. At number 10, we're going Mark Andrews, right? This is a tight end. Let's just face it, at the beginning, he was absolute trash. He wasn't doing anything, putting up some zero burgers up there for you for fantasy football. But look, it's starting to get a little bit better for Mark Andrews. I don't know if it's because Deontay Johnson's kind of having a hissy fit himself, but Lamar Jackson's throwing the football, and he's throwing a lot to Mark Andrews. He's starting to put up some of these numbers. I had to put him here at number 10 for me. So, right, like this week, they are taking on a Steelers defense ranked 17th against opposing tight ends. He's always a tough divisional matchup, right? But I think that with the volume and the targets alone that Mark Andrews is receiving, I think that makes him a good option this week here in week 16, especially when you might have drafted Mark Andrews as your top fantasy tight end early on in the season, and he kind of disappointed if you held on to him this long. Maybe he makes some dividends for you now into the playoffs. I had to put him in here at number 10 for me. Coming at number 9, kind of crazy to see him down here, but Travis Kelce, right? And a lot of this is probably got to do with Patrick Mahomes' health right now, because if he does play but doesn't play all game, if he has to have Carson Wentz come in there and play in the backup quarterback minutes for him, how does that react to Travis Kelce? I still think they're ramping up for the playoffs right now, right? They're getting ready. Travis Kelce, phenomenal player, right? I think it's a phenomenal matchup, a good high-powered game. I just think overall Patrick Mahomes' health is kind of scaring me a little bit, so I had to drop him way down here at number 9. But this week they're taking on the Texans defense right now that ranks 9th against opposing tight ends. They're really ramping themselves up for the playoffs. And like I was saying early on in the season, that they were keeping him fresh. They wasn't trying to use Travis Kelce. They wasn't trying to use Patrick Mahomes, using a lot of the run game, right? Isaiah Pacheco run up the middle early on in the season. Now it's towards the end of the season. They want to start getting some things together. So I think this could be a good opportunity for them to start playing better football. So I'm hoping that Patrick Mahomes is healthy. Maybe his, I think he had a high ankle sprain, a mild high ankle sprain, something like that. Maybe that might be able to keep him. He's as tough as nails. So he should be able to play as long as he's able to go. And if he is, then Travis Kelce is a definitely fine play. If for some odd reason Travis Kelce has to go on without Patrick Mahomes and has Carson Wentz, I'd probably end up dropping him out of my top 10 tight ends. Moving right along here, though, at number 8, we're going to Tucker Kraft. This is another one of those kind of boomer bust type of guys, right? The Packers in general have Jordan Love at quarterback, and there's a lot of options out there, whether it's Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Jaden Daniels, Dontavian Wicks, and then you have Tucker Kraft as well. So Tucker Kraft, I think, has a great matchup. This week, they are taking on a Saints defense that ranks 12th against opposing tight ends. The Saints always seem to suck against the tight end. Take it from a Saints fan myself. I've seen even in the playoffs, George Kittle destroying us. We had early on in the season, the Eagles tight end that destroyed us, Dallas Goedert. I mean, we always seem to suck against the tight end. Our numbers may not say that, but that's just what I feel. So I had to go in here, had to put Tucker Kraft in there. I know you can't always trust Tucker Kraft, but I think this is the week you got to put Tucker Kraft into your lineup because I think he's going to propel you into the championship game. So move right along here. Going to number 7, we're going TJ Hawkinson. This is one of those guys who missed a lot, right? You took a chance when you drafted this guy because you knew he was going to miss a big portion of the season. Well, now that he's in there, he's really got this nice connection with Sam Darnold as well. You got Jordan Addison, you got Justin Jefferson on the field. A lot of playmakers out there for you, and he's putting up huge dividends for you right now. This week, they are taking on a Seahawks defense that ranks 19th against opposing tight ends. He's looked great since coming back from his injury, right? He's a part of the offense. They put him into the game plans, right? So if he's getting the targets, getting the opportunities, that makes him a solid fantasy target. Love myself some TJ Hawkinson here in week 16. Moving right along here at number 6, we're going Sam Laporta, right? He's starting to rise back into my rankings a little bit, and a big reason why, right? You guys have already watched my wide receiver ranking videos. You've watched my quarterback and my running back ranking videos, but now we're doing the tight ends, and the same thing applies. Sam Laporta, guess what? David Montgomery's out. I think they're going to throw the football a little bit more now, which means more targets, right? More targets for Amon-Ra St. Brown and more targets for Sam Laporta. And I think if he gets more targets, he has good hands. He can catch the football. I think they can pay really good value for you for fantasy football. This week, they are taking on a Bears defense that ranks 21st against opposing tight ends. No Montgomery, like I said, which is going to mean more of that passing game. And I think that if he has more opportunities to shine, he might start to get closer to that number 1 tight end that we all knew and loved. Last season, he was the unquestioned number 1 tight end. In Dynasty football, he was the number 1 tight end. And now he almost fell from grace. There's a couple times he wasn't even in my top 10 tight ends. So let's just see if he keeps doing better, keeps ramping it up. He might be your fantasy football darling for the playoffs, for all you know. I like myself some Sam Laporta here in week 16. Moving right along, at my top 5 tight ends, I'm going David Njoku right now at number 5. I've seen a lot of people that he's not even in their rankings right now, the top 10. So it's a little crazy. I think he's going to be fine. I think he'll be back from injury. He did miss last week due to a hamstring injury, but I think he'll be back and ready to rock and roll this week. He has a A+ matchup this week. They get on a Bengals defense, ranks 32nd against opposing tight ends. Absolute cock-a-doodle. Hamstring should be better this week. They're very optimistic about playing. I think David Njoku thinks he's going to play. I think they're very confident that he's going to be on the football field, and I hope he is too, because boy, oh boy, does he have a juicy matchup. Even in one of my dynasty leagues, I have David Njoku, and I'm really needing him to play right now. So David Njoku, get on the field. I think it's a phenomenal play. We already know Jameis Winston throws the football up. It doesn't matter if he gets an interception or not. He's just chunking the football down the field. David Njoku could be a big reason of why you advance into your fantasy football playoffs. I like myself some David Njoku here in week 16. We were like at number 4, Jonnu Smith. Yes, Jonnu Smith. I'm telling you, he gets a lot of targets. He gets the opportunities, and he's a fantasy consistently output for you. He does it week in and week out. I don't know how he does it, but he does it. And I had to give him a little bit of respect on his name. You know what I mean? So this week they are taking on the 49ers defense that ranks second against opposing tight ends. He's been surprising, right? All season long. People are like, where did this guy come from? People don't even realize he was actually good when he played with the Falcons, with Desmond Kaka Ritter throwing him the football, right? Marcus Kaka Mariota throwing him the football. And he was still good, still put up these numbers, better than Kyle Pitts. Now he goes over with Tua Tagovailoa with the Miami Dolphins, and even with Tyreek Hill, and even with Jalen Waddle on the other side of these fields, he's still putting up good fantasy football numbers. So I had to give him a little bit of respect on his name. Put him here at number 4 for me. We're right along here. At number 3, we're going George Kittle. This is one of those guys, again, I say it all the time. He's almost like the last man standing, right? Everybody and their grandma has been hurt, whether it's Brandon Ayuk and Christian McCaffrey, Brock Purdy. They've all been hurt, right? But the one person who stayed healthy, stayed strong, and been consistent is George Kittle. And look, again, they may be out of the playoff hunt, but I think George Kittle has enough in him to help you advance into the playoffs. This week, they are taking on a Dolphins defense that ranks 15th against opposing tight ends. He's been a stud all season long. He's been the guy you can consistently, depend on week in and week out. And that's not going to stop here. You're going to have him this week. You're going to have him next week for your championship game as well, as long as you advance. I think George Kittle, phenomenal play. Get the guy into your lineup. Coming here at number 2, we're going Trey McBride. That's the guy who is the holy grail of all the targets you could possibly get at the tight end position. A couple weeks ago, we had, 14 targets, another 14 targets, 17 targets. He get all types of targets, 12 targets here. Crazy, man. This week, they are taking on a Panthers defense, ranks 31st against opposing tight ends. 10 targets last week, right? Multiple, double-digit targets like in the last 5 weeks. He is getting as much workload as you possibly can. If you haven't, especially in a full PPR league, listen, you got a phenomenal tight end. It's awesome. It's awesome to see what it is. But get the guy in your lineup. There's no analysis needed for Trey McBride. Volume is king, and he's getting a lot of that. So let's move right along here. At number 1, we're going Brock Bowers, right? Who else? Right? A generational tight end at this point. He's put up some freaking Hall of Fame numbers at this point if he can just continue this up. And I know the team is ass. I get it. They have to throw the football every given moment. But Brock Bowers, he's making some plays. At this point, the defense knows Brock Bowers getting the football, and they still can't stop him. So Brock Bowers, phenomenal play. But this week, they're taking on a Jaguars defense that ranks 25th against opposing tight ends. And he should continue to dominate his workload. Week in and week out, it doesn't matter what's going on. I think they need better quarterback play. And if they improve the quarterback play, which they will, they're going to get one of these rookies in the draft. I think you're going to see Brock Bowers really start to shine, even starting into next year, right? So if you're playing in Dynasty, grab yourself some Brock Bowers if you can. He's going to be absolutely banana. But as far as this week in week 16, you got to start Brock Bowers. Easily my number 1 tight end on this week, guys. But make sure you guys hit a like button, hit a subscribe button. We're pumping out so many videos right now, each and every week. We want to help you set the best lineup possible. You already know our ultimate goal is for you to win a championship. Guys, do me a favor. Most of y'all watching this video aren't even subscribed. Subscribe to the channel. Helps out tremendously. And leave a comment down below. Is there anybody in the top 10 that I have right now that you don't think belongs there? Tell me in the comments below. Or better yet, if you think there's a tight end that's not in my top 10 that you believe should be in the top 10, let me know in the comments below. It really helps out. We go back and forth, right? So guys, we're pumping out so many right now. Look, even after all these ranking videos are out, we got next week is our last rankings videos coming out. Even after that's done with, we're not done with fantasy football. The Bayou Bengal Fantasy Network is here year round. Week in and week out, we are pumping out videos for for you, to educate you, to get you ready for the drafts, to get you ready for the season, ready for your lineups, no matter what. We are here to help you do so. So make sure you guys are hitting the subscribe button. It really helps out a lot. And I can't wait to see you guys on the next video. We'll see you guys next time.